Has kayak fishing gone mainstream?
Fishyaker.com, the original kayak rigging video series.
If you've been following kayak fishing for, say, 10 years or so, you've really seen a revolution in the sport. Kayak fishing started off basically as a group of guys looking for a way to get to the fish. Primarily, they've been either shore fishermen or even using larger boats looking to get either, into new waters or into waters they couldn't get to in bigger boats. And back then, let's say 5, 10, 15 years ago, it was really grassroots and it was really kind of an alternative sport. An alternative sport compared to mainstream tournament fishing, especially bass fishing. Well, there's kind of been a revolution in that over the last 2, 3, 4 years. If you look back, say, 10 years ago or so, it was really a coup to see Hank Parker putting his signature on a kayak. That was huge. Seeing these big-name guys on the BASS and FOW tours and so forth getting involved in kayak fishing back then. But now, like I said, I was at the Classic in Tulsa, Oklahoma the last few days. Well, that's really kind of come around again. So if you look at ICAST over the past few years, you're starting to see a lot of these larger kayak fishing specific manufacturers embracing these large fishing industry shows. And you're seeing the same thing with the big time tournament anglers. We know that one of these, tournament anglers that was in the Bassmaster Classic even had a kayak on top of his truck. Just hanging out inside the Old Town booth at the Classic, we had a bunch of, high-level pros coming by just to check out what products we had. We're also doing a lot more, with cross-branding with some of the manufacturers that are involved in the kayak fishing community that also have brands that are specific to, tournament fishing. They're actually starting to, cross-promote their, big-name anglers. Is it good for the sport or bad for the sport? Honestly, I think it's good for the sport. And think about it, who are we targeting for kayak fishing? Are we targeting the big-time bass guys, the guys that are going to want to spend $50,000 to $80,000 on a bass boat that are doing these big-time tournaments? Well, maybe they'll start kayak fishing, as an option, as an alternative to when they want to trailer their boat around and they don't have the time. But again, we're still targeting a lot of that same audience. The guy that's fishing off the shore that looks out into the lake or out into the river or out into the ocean and thinks, what can I use to get out there without putting a second mortgage on my house? I don't know. So we're still targeting those guys that are shore fishermen and wade fishermen, right? And then you have the kayak fishermen guys who are serious about kayak fishing. But now we've really seen a revolution where kayak fishing is becoming mainstream. Come on, go through your local, big box store. You can go to even Walmart. Walmart's selling fishing kayaks. You got your major manufacturers, these outdoor sporting good manufacturers, putting their own brands on kayaks. So kayak fishing really is becoming mainstream. You see it on TV commercials. There are more kayak fishing television shows now on TV than there ever been. So we're not really a fringe sport anymore. We really are becoming more mainstream. Do you think it's good for the sport? Overall, I do. But again, in the video, comment down below. Let me know what you think. On Facebook, put some comments up. Let me know what you think. Is kayak fishing becoming mainstream? And if so, is that good or bad for the sport? Is it bringing more, money into the sport for tournaments, those that do tournament fishing, bringing more sponsors into the sport for those that are doing kayak fishing tournaments? But it's also helping the evolution of the sport. Our products are becoming better because we're having products designed specifically for kayak fishing as opposed to, say, 10 or 15 years ago when, we just go into our garage and find some tools and make something. But now we're having professional design of products for kayak fishing. So the products are developing and evolving faster than they ever have before just for kayak fishing. So we're not trying to, use an item that's not necessarily made for a kayak. So overall, it's bringing more people into the sport. You may have more crowds at your local kayak or canoe launch, but it's probably good for the sport because of the evolution of the sport. Look at the car industry. When you started getting more car manufacturers, they started competing. The product quality started rising. The accessories and the design work became better. So it's the same type of thing. We're bringing more money into the sport. We're bringing more people into the sport, and we're getting recognized. And again, we're not some alternate fringe sport anymore. Kayak fishing is one of the largest growing parts of the outdoor industry, and we're now being recognized for it. So those who have been doing this for 10 or 15 years or so and still doing it strong, kudos to you. You've really developed the sport. And for those just getting into it, the sky's the limit for what we can do with our kayaks now. They're so much more versatile, better design. The accessories we have for them help us out a ton. But like I said, comment, post up below. Let me know what you think. Again, has kayak fishing become mainstream? Are we a mainstream sport now? And if so, is it good for the sport of kayak fishing? Thanks for watching again. Fishyaker.com. Be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube, like us on Facebook. We'll catch you on the water.